Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. Neville Goddard. The notion that imagination shapes reality is a potent and tantalizing idea that has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries. From the quantum theories that ponder the influence of the observer on the observed, to the psychological tenets that acknowledge the power of perception and belief. This concept weaves a thread through multiple disciplines and world views. At its heart, this principle suggests that the universe is not a static entity, but rather a dynamic and malleable construct that is receptive to the ideas and images we hold in our mind. In the world of quantum physics, theories hint at the participation of consciousness in shaping our reality. The observer effect postulates that our mere gaze can shift outcomes. It's like the universe is a canvas, and our observations and thoughts are the brushstrokes that can potentially alter its appearance. This idea holds immense power in the realm of human psychology as well. Our thoughts and beliefs lay down the tracks for the life journey ahead of us. If you envision yourself as capable and competent, you are laying down a mental foundation for a life of achievement and fulfillment. On the flip side, if your imagination is clouded by thoughts of incapacity or inevitable failure, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, creating a reality that is shaped by limitation and defeat. Our minds are like gardens. The quality of the seeds we plant determines the harvest we reap. Visualization techniques take this concept a step further. Many high-performing individuals engage in mental rehearsals, where the power of imagination is leveraged to prepare for real-world tasks. When you visualize, you are essentially training your brain for a specific outcome, making it more likely that you will act in ways to make that outcome a reality. You're setting a psychological blueprint, and your actions will likely follow that plan, turning imagination into reality. We are not just passive observers of life, but active participants with the agency to shape our destinies. When you clearly picture a goal or a desired outcome, you're doing more than daydreaming. You're creating a mental blueprint for the thing you'd like to bring into existence. It's the first layer of creating, preceding any physical action you might take. Imagine you're an artist standing before a blank canvas. Before the first brushstroke hits the canvas, the painting already exists in your mind. You have a mental image of what you want to create, and that internal vision guides your actions. This is a simple example, but it illustrates how internal images or states can drive external action and manifestation. When applied to life, this principle becomes more nuanced. If you repeatedly imagine achieving a goal, feeling its texture, absorbing its presence in your life, your actions will naturally align to make it happen. You might find yourself more alert to opportunities that you would have otherwise ignored, or suddenly open to paths that were previously hidden from view. There's a sort of magnetic pull that drags you and your goal closer together. For your imagination to influence reality, emotional investment is often essential. Your emotions give power to your thoughts, making them magnetic to similar circumstances. For instance, if you imagine success and feel the joy or relief associated with it, you're more likely to attract success. Negative thoughts or fears can also manifest when given enough emotional fuel. If you're constantly imagining worst-case scenarios, it's like you're placing an order for them to happen. Not only does a negative outlook cloud your judgment, but it can also lead to self-sabotaging behavior. In this way, your imagination can be a double-edged sword, capable of creating both beneficial and detrimental outcomes. Of course, imagining something won't make it appear out of thin air. There's a process, often involving hard work, strategic planning, and perseverance. But what imagination does is set the stage for these actions. It's the starting point of every creation, and the initial spark that ignites the path to realization. Neville Goddard, a 20th century spiritual teacher, was a leading voice in the philosophy that imagination creates reality. His teachings have influenced many people seeking to understand the metaphysical aspects of life. According to Goddard, your imagination isn't just a mental tool for visualizing things. It's the very substance and fabric that shapes your world. He believed that our physical reality is a mirror reflecting our inner states, and that by altering our internal landscape through imaginative acts, we can affect external events. Goddard's understanding of imagination and its role in manifesting reality was rooted in a spiritual perspective. He leaned on biblical references and metaphysical interpretations to explain how imagination is the God within us all. In his view, our imagination was not separate from the divine force that created the universe. It was an extension of it. His techniques for manifestation through imagination were straightforward, yet profound. One of the key practices he advocated was the act of living in the end. This means that you assume the feeling and the mental state of your wish already being fulfilled. You don't imagine for the thing you desire, you imagine from it. Goddard argued that by adopting the feeling of the wish fulfilled, your subconscious mind would be impressed by this state, and external reality would then conform to this internal arrangement. Another cornerstone of Goddard's teachings is the importance of feeling in imagination. He emphasized that the emotional component is what fuels the imaginative act, giving it the vibrational frequency to resonate with external circumstances. It's not just about visualizing a scene in your mind. You must feel it as if it were true. The emotional element is what provides the imaginative act with the energy to manifest. For Goddard, imagination was an active, creative force, not a passive daydream. He insisted that the moment you construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire and inhabit that scene with all the senses, you set in motion a chain of events in the unseen world, which will eventually materialize in the physical realm. Neville Goddard's principles are deep, and they challenge many of our conventional beliefs about the nature of reality. His teachings ask us to entertain the notion that reality isn't just something that happens to us, but something we actively create through our internal states. However, he also warned about the ethical implications. Because imagination is a creative force, using it unwisely or harmfully could create adverse effects, not just for the individual, but also for the collective. Neville Goddard's Feel It Real technique is grounded in the principle that your external world is a reflection of your internal state. One of Goddard's most famous sayings elucidates this concept well. The world is yourself pushed out. He believed that to change your circumstances, you must first alter your internal reality. This technique begins with creating a vivid scene in your imagination that represents your desired outcome. However, it goes beyond mere visualization. As Goddard puts it, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. In other words, is not just about seeing your wish fulfilled. It's about immersing yourself in the emotions and senses that accompany that vision. To make it effective, Goddard emphasized entering a relaxed state, a state akin to sleep, he called it. This state enhances your ability to impress your subconscious mind with your newly formed reality. As he famously stated, the subconscious does not argue controversially. Your feelings are its reality. Once you're relaxed and your imaginative scene is vivid, you move on to embody the emotions as if your desire is already a reality. Feeling is the secret, Goddard said. The feeling of the wish fulfilled, if assumed and sustained, must objectify the state that would have created it. In other words, you should saturate yourself with the emotion of having achieved your goal. Live in that emotion until it feels as real to you as your current reality. After you have thoroughly felt it real, the next part is crucial: detachment and surrender. You have to let go of your desire, secure in the knowledge that the seed has been sown and will grow in due time. Goddard suggests trusting the process with a profound sense of confidence. As he once said, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. It is also important that your beliefs and assumptions align with your newly imagined reality. As Goddard would say, you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled until your assumption has all the sensory vividness of reality. You need to feel it in your bones, believe in your heart, and live as if your desired reality is here now. By incorporating Neville Goddard's wisdom and the technique of feeling it real, you not only set the stage for manifesting your desires, but also open the door to a transformative way of living.